Hello, 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 friends and potential enemies. I'm running late, as I said in the message in the chat. Nobody's watching right now, anyways, but you will, and then anybody's watching later. There was a message in the chat. Hey, I should watch myself now. I just got a notification that I should watch myself live. Cool. So yeah, my apologies. I'm running a little bit late. So instead of starting off at home with the lockpicking Meower and Baby Blue, right now we're in the car with just David. It is hotter than hell right now where I am. My car, which is very conservative historically speaking, says it's 90 degrees outside. Lovely. And in case the one person watching is from not America, that's in freedom units, of course, not actual, you know. We're not 1 degree away from the boiling, or we're not 10 degrees away from the boiling point of water, he said somewhat facetiously. Anyways, tunnel underneath Van Nuys Airport. Yay. Oh, yeah. When can I manual swap this car? I love it so very much, but I need a manual transmission. Why? Why do these things exist? What? Why? Hello, hello, hello. Why are these things a thing? Why? They're so bad. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. So we're still gonna hang out. We're still gonna chill with some cats. But right now, I'm running late because I'm a bit stupid. I'm not stupid. I have severe ADHD, and my time management is somewhere between shit and fuck. Oh wait, am I too early in the stream to be cursing? I don't know. Why am I checking my wrist like there's a watch on it? I actually really hate. Okay, chat peeps, how are you? By the way, thank you for saying hi. Hello, Guillermo. Hello, Chris. Hello, Arthur. Um, uh, I personally despise wristwatches and would not wear them. Wristwatches, thumbs up, thumbs down, or ambivalent. Discuss amongst yourselves. Oh, anyways. Oh, I just turned with such fervor that my phone thought I switched from portrait to landscape orientation. That's funny. All right, y'all. I'm on the 5 freeway. Hope I don't hit so much traffic. Cross fingers, cross toes, cross other appendages if you can and are skilled. But yeah, let's hope I make it home safe and we can make check-ins on Baby Blue. Baby Blue. But right now, I just need to survive LA Sunday drivers. I love I love driving on the freeway when there's nobody here. Definitely the people here. Why is it that I am overtaking you and you are in the left lane and I'm not? What is that? Why is that a thing? Love Los Angeles. They do not have any lane discipline. Get out of my way, Audi. I swear to you, some of these bougie LA people, the only place they like to camp is in the left lane. You put them out on an actual like campground, they'd be like, "What is this?" But you put them in the left lane, and they're just like, "I belong here for some reason." Don't even try it, Ultima. Don't take your Ultima energy and get in my lane. Whoa. Sorry, folks. This part isn't super entertaining, but I can't really like do multiple things at the same time on the freeway. I promise you, I'm usually more entertaining than this. Well, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. You're gonna have to ask my usual viewers, none of whom have tuned in yet. Maybe you guys will be my new usual viewers. Maybe this Mercedes will get out of the way. Maybe pigs will fly. Yeah. Stop indicating and just do it, my guy. Good God. Don't think, just do. To quote a great prophet, if you're gonna shoot, shoot. Don't talk. Eli Wallach, circa 19. What year did The Good, Bad, and the Ugly come out? Are we already about to hit traffic? Oh, yeah. I love LA. While I'm just sitting around in traffic, I also wanted to comment how proud I am, generally speaking, of my city for how it conducted itself yesterday. And the people watching, you're free to disagree, but you're not from LA unless you are, in which case you're free to disagree even more. Either way, point is, I'm very, very happy that LA has been and continues to show out in the face of blatant government repression. You know, kind of feels kind of funky to be living in the city where the president decided to call the actual U.S. Marines in on your city. That's kind of messed up. So yeah. So what else? Yeah. Yeah. Wait, we have hit the traffic. We're stuck in traffic. We're stuck in traffic. We're going nowhere fast. Just I do love the traffic. We might have to call an audible and get the heck out of here, peeps. I don't. If this is gonna be bad, bad, I'm out, out. I'm also just really tired of looking at the ass end of this light green Prius. It's just slightly annoying. David wants to go vroom. Please, can I go vroom? Traffic says no. Right. To review things I love about LA. We did a great job showing out to tell ICE to go pound sand, which I approve of wholeheartedly. Um, we we are a wonderful and great and strong city, and whenever stuff goes bad, we get tougher. But the traffic is just shit. And this is a Sunday afternoon, and it's 94 degrees outside. It's 94. It's 94. Did I mention it's 94 degrees outside? Don't change Topanga. Let Topanga change you. Hmm. In Soviet Russia, Topanga changes you. Speaking of Soviet Russia, I'd like to discuss the recent military parade in our nation's capital. Since I've got nothing better to do while I'm stuck in traffic. Um, y- I just have a comment, kind of generally tangential to most things. Motorcycles. Sorry. But anyways, getting back to our original topic. Well, so while we're stuck in traffic, let's discuss the military parade in Washington D.C. that happened yesterday. Um, wow, it filled me with patriotic fervor to see tanks and troops rolling down our nation's capital. I just loved it so much. Uh, in other news, my my question to all these planners for this super special soldier parade. Uh, why didn't you dress them in their dress uniforms? Like, did y'all notice that all the soldiers who were marching at this friggin' parade were wearing camo? It was such a like loser style choice. Like, and look, Mr. Jeans in a t-shirt on a 90-degree days is really one to be talking about style. But like, I'm just saying, if you look at a nation full of apparatchiks like Russia can put on a better parade than we do. And they're busy taking L's repeatedly in Ukraine and on their own territory. But seriously, you look at a Russian military parade, they got Trump will clean up. Doubt it. Trump had his super special parade and it was bullshit. As I was saying, as I was saying, as I was saying, yeah. Where's the drip on the American soldiers? We got really good looking dress uniforms, but did we wear them? No, 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 no. Camo it is. We look like shit. And by the way, Callie, just to let you in on a little secret, Trump is a felon and a rapist and a piece of shit, and he really likes the imagery of Putin's Russia, but um, he's missing out on a lot of things that that Russia has. Yeah, I mean, what will he clean up? What exactly will he clean up forever? Hello, Zoe the cat. How are you? He can't even clean his own face up. So Zoe the cat, as I was saying, we're discussing without getting too political. We're discussing why why the recent military parade in Washington was such a clown show. And my contention is it's because the troops were wearing camo and they looked terrible compared to a true totalitarian dictatorship's military parade. You look at Russia, you look at China, you look at North Korea, when they get their parades together, they are dripping head to toe in full military dress. But our troops looking like they just fell out of bed, wearing friggin' camo, wearing their BDUs or whatever. It looked terrible. So, yeah, that's my take on the protest, or not the protest. Sorry, that's my take on the uh, uh, super special military parade in a super special city full of super special people. Anyways, we're almost home. People are driving. What the dudes? This guy's tracking is definitely off. Look, he's driving in a straight line. Look, look at this shit. Yep. This this truck is so badly out of alignment. What the what in oh my god. Why are you in the left lane and why your shit is not road legal, bro? Oh my god. Yes. All politicians are full of it. And realistically speaking, if the Democrats didn't suck so much, Trump would never have gotten elected, not even once, much less twice. I mean, but yeah, the Democrats are. I really like the Lewis Blackism, where the Republicans are the party of bad ideas and the Democrats are the party of no ideas. I think that pretty much summarizes how I feel about contemporary American politics. I think there's something to be said, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think there's something to be said that sometimes when the parties themselves become the problem, maybe you should just get rid of the parties. Like one thing I always kind of, yeah, it is really, but that kind of sucks, like the lack of a third choice is crap. But I'm also going to say that um, I'm also going to say that you know it. I think there's something to be said for in the aftermath of Kanye Grabowski. He needs help just to clean his own face. He can't clean shit. He's a useless oligarch, and if you think he's anything more than a failing old man, just like the guy before him was, then I'm sorry, he sold you a bill of shitty goods. Um, but yeah, but I mean, I think One thing that I kind of I mean, now proviso, they only banned one type of party, but one thing I kind of admire about um, the country of Ukraine post the Euromaidan movement and the election of initially Poroshenko and then after that Zelensky is that they banned the parties that were obviously pro-Russia, that were kind of aside, that were corrosive from within. And I think there's something to be said for that. That maybe we should like there are currently two political parties, Democrat and Republican, that are corrosive to the American way from within, that they are holding back the American people. And maybe it's just now it's kind of difficult. It would be kind of difficult because, um, the parties elect themselves. So, like, how would they vote to ban themselves in a manner of speaking? But, like, realistically speaking, like, they should both be made illegal. And while they're at it, I'd love to see the Israelis ban the Likud party, but that's, wishful thinking too. Um, anyways, I'm stuck in traffic and now I'm behind a Kia. Yeah, Zoe the cat. I didn't get any shift at all whatsoever today, actually. I was super lazy, um, and I was actually cooking. I was making a beef bourguignon uh, this morning for the assisted living facilities. Oh, good God. What kind of driving is this? Can we not? But yeah. So no shift at Universal today. And I did a little, I basically yeah, I mean, you know, it's Sunday. I know I'm by the Hollywood Bowl, so technically, there's a lot of oh, I love transit systems sometimes. They're so fun. But yeah, this is bowl traffic and Sunday. Just people suck sometimes. Um, but yeah, excuse me. But yeah, no overtime today. No earning money. But it is what it is. I get some free time with the kitty cats. There are well, of which there are many, many, many. I should have shot that yellow. That Tesla was running the red. I should have shot the yellow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, trust me, Zoe the cat. You'll get no disagreement from here. Um, California in general and LA specifically drives like doo doo caca. Yes, Katie, or yes, whatever your name is, that was illegal. It was a horrible thing to do. Wherever you live, I hope they send the army to you too for whatever. Because you know, sicking your military on your own citizens is a really good look for this country. I've seen shit like that in Russia and in China and in other totalitarian regimes where I don't expect to see that shit is in my own city, especially when the democratically elected governor tells the democratically elected president, "Don't do that." And the president just gets his big, well, everything's gonna be big and beautiful, and I'm such a good president for all Americans. And basically, what I'm saying is keep up with that shit, and I'm gonna put you on a snooze for about 30 minutes. I'm done with this political sloganeering inside in the chat. I hate that I have 4 years, or sorry, now 8 years to work on that fucking voice, Zoe the cat. I would have been much happier working on the Bernie voice, but instead, the voice is getting shittier and shittier because he's becoming less and less relevant, politically speaking. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go, 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 jaywalk. See if I give a fuck. I'm not slowing down. You want to jaywalk? I'm not slowing down. We can see who wins. Uh, oh, but when the president does it, that means it is not illegal. I think I know somebody else who feels the same thing. Um, all right, sorry, folks. What the fuck kind of driving is that? Why don't you just park your goddamn car? All right, we still live? All right, yeah, sorry, I was subterranean. I was parking my car and I just wasn't able to move at all. All right. The good news is I'm home. We've gotten rid of Miss Political sloganeering. So yeah, we're good. Anyways, we're back in the house. The kitties are here. Say hello to Emily, to Benny. Yes, let's say hello to Fred. Let's see baby. Hey, Weesh. Sorry, I was hooking up a storm, so let me turn off that. Baby Blue. So Baby Blue's in his little quarantine area. Blue, Blue, Baby Blue. His fur's gotten so much softer now that he's like kind of clean. And look, his eyes are already doing better. Um, so we got the tests on his respiratory system back also. Um, and it turns out that he had feline chlamydia and hello Delbert. So yeah, baby blue has feline. Said that it was a nothing burger overall. But the gist of it is that young baby blue will be in my apartment for the next 3 weeks, getting his treatments. Baby blue. But yeah, he's doing he's doing so good. He's such a good boy. But yeah, unfortunately, he will have to remain in quarantine for the next little while because especially while whatever he has is still transmittable, I can't have him transmitting that to my cats. Here, I'll disconnect. I'm sorry, the audio quality for me is about to get worse, but you're going to be able to hear Baby Blue. So I'm sorry, I'm going to disconnect my earphones. I wish there were a way to like have good quality voice and to be able to hear surrounding sounds, but unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be a thing at the moment. So hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. Oops. I'm sorry about the buzzing. I'm sorry about the static, but beep beep blue. I don't know why the audio quality is so bad when I'm live streaming. Thank you, Alexander. I like this cat too. Technically, he's not mine yet. He's a community cat that I've been taking care of since 2022, and I just took him to the vet, and I'm planning on adopting him once I get rid of my 2 foster cats. But right now he's in quarantine in my bathroom for the next 3 weeks because he yeah, no, he's very cute and I love him very much. He's Baby Blue, that's his name, Baby Blue. Yeah, the reason he makes all these noises is because he has conjunctivitis, and also he has Mycoplasma felis and chlamydia felis, feline chlamydia. So yeah. So I, it's not the question of do I want to, it's kind of do I have to, Alexander. If you check out my channel later, stay on the live now and help me with those watch hours. Professional at YouTubing. But yeah, if you check out my like long form videos, what I do primarily is take care of and rescue homeless cats in the Los Angeles area, including this guy. This is one of them. But I'm not an official rescue or anything like that, and I live out of an apartment, and I need to be able to continue doing that. And right now I'm at capacity where I can't have any more cats in this house. Between this guy who's requiring medical care, and my other cats, and my foster, I have this many cats. Officially I have 3 cats. But I actually have this many cats. Plus these many fosters, plus this guy, to make a grand total of cats in one apartment, and I'm one dude, and it's any more than this, and it would be almost a disservice to the cats because I can't keep up with the poop scoop requirements. And I don't want them to suffer because of my inability to care for them. So yeah, but that being said, so I love my 2 foster cats, but they need to find a forever home with the quickness if possible, so I can continue. Thank you, Maria. I agree. Yeah, but my 2 foster cats need to find a forever home quickly, so I can continue rescuing other cats, and also so I can adopt this guy, because this guy he will be cat number for me, because he and I go back a long way. I've known him since 2022 when he's living on the streets, and I was the one who socialized him primarily, and obviously we have a very special connection. Look at that, he's such a good boy, Baby Blue. Baby Blue. So yeah, the plus side is he's super cute, he's super friendly, he loves me and I love him, and so that's great. The slight downside is that he's gonna be stuck in this bathroom for the next 3 weeks, more or less, because I don't want him passing chlamydia to my cats. So yeah, and he's gonna be getting terramycin and Dexa something or other. Dexamethasone sodium in his eyes, and doxycycline orally. Yeah. So that's what he's going to be taking for the next 3 weeks. So we're gonna try and make him as comfy as possible.
I'll say one thing, Delbert, though, and that's that the city of Los Angeles has what they call the community cat program, which I'm a member of, obviously. And what it basically is that they give you vouchers to get cats TNR'd, which is I think a great thing for the city to do. I mean, granted, look, they're like we also have Fix Nation, which um does free spay neuters, but you know, it's it's not that they're free to the people who come, but like they still have costs. So it's good to give the vouchers to them all the same, just to make like just so they can cover their costs. Yeah, but yeah, LA did a pretty good job about the community cat program. Now, the one thing they need to do um, they need to take the next step, which is kind of now they've got all these fixed cats that are just growing old on the streets. They need to give them like a cat sanctuary of sorts where they can go, especially the colonies that have become nuisances to the property owners. Which I mean, look, yeah, yeah. If you have a if you have access trap, that's very helpful, Delbert. That'd be a good call. But yeah, but look, his eyes are already clearing up. The good boy. Good boy. Look at those baby blues. Hey, look at this baby blue. Baby blue. Yeah, that's the problem. Everything's at capacity. Oh, that's cute, Zoe the cat. Yeah, I don't know why, but I thought Zoe the cat was a black cat based on your avatar. I thought, oh, Zoe was a void. No. Yeah, that's the thing. And that's also the thing with me is like I got my two fosters, but I want to make sure that they get a great forever home, and that'll keep them inside at all times. Yeah, so I want them to go to a place that'll keep them inside at all times. That'll make sure they're well taken care of. And I mean, ideally, that will every now and then send me a couple of photos and be like, hey, Sonny and Sully are doing really well, or we renamed them, but these cats are doing really well that you took care of for so long. Yeah, look at this good girl. Or good boy, sorry. Baby Blue. Baby Blue is a good breed. Brilliant. So yeah, Baby Blue already got his morning medication, which means tonight I need to give him. So yeah, so he gets the eye drops and the eye ointment. Um, yeah, yeah, he gets the eye ointment and the eye drops twice a day, and he gets the antibiotics once a day by mouth, which is good because trying to give almost a full milliliter of antibiotics to a cat that's lived all his life on the streets is, even with all the towels that are around here, it's difficult. I'm not gonna lie, it is difficult. He's like, no, this tastes gross. Yeah, and to be honest with you, Delbert, I wouldn't mind like if eventually, I think nothing, very few things last forever. But I mean, I would love a few updates, like okay, at least for like a couple of months or something, just like how are the cats adapting to their new home? You know, is Sully finally coming out of his shell and being like the social cat, like his sister is? All these questions and more will be answered on today's episode of Baby Blue. Oh, do you want dry food too? So yeah, but the downside is he has to because of the chlamydia thing. He's got to stay in quarantine for the foreseeable future, which kind of sucks. Anyways, in other news, Louisa, and I was very worried about Louisa because she had like a growth that I was afraid it was a tumor, by her belly, but it turned out to be nothing but a fatty discharge. So she's actually doing much better than I thought it was. So good news for Louisa, good news for Baby Blue. Well, chlamydia is not great news, but hey, at least it's treatable. And the good news is feline chlamydia is not transmittable to humans. Yay! Benny, Benny, Benny. Sun Girl. Now this is one of the foster cats. This is Sunny. She's a sunny girl. She's got a very sunny disposition. She's also extremely cute. She's about 13 months old. Sun Girl. But yeah, for those of you who are watching the David Romano experience for the first time, Louisa is a former street cat, Sunny's a former street cat, Ben is a former street cat, the Void. Now, Fred... No, it's not a tumor, Delbert. So, Fred and Emily are litter mates, and they're shelter pets, not street cats. And they were... But I will say this. Of all the cats in this apartment right now, it cost me $0 because, like I said, street pickups don't cost any money, and these guys were sponsored by the ASPCA. Thank you to the ASPCA. Free cat, free cat, free cat. The cat distribution system really works overtime for me sometimes. Now, if only the money distribution system would do equal overtime work. That would be lovely. Baby Blue! Was it, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the Stray Cats the name of like a punk band? And yes, it would be an awesome 90s cartoon. Hello, Yin Yet! Look at Baby Blue! Look how good he's doing! Baby Blue! Yeah, but the thing... A good, the only thing with... Yeah, it's interesting, but Baby Blue's getting used to being an indoor kitty very quickly. Not bad for a guy who lived his entire life up until this past Tuesday on the mean streets of Los Angeles. Also, I'm sure he's loving it right now when it's 90-something degrees in the valley and he gets to chill here in this lovely air-conditioned... Wait, is it air-conditioned in here? No, there's no vent in this room, but it doesn't matter. It's pretty shady and it's chill, so yeah. Also, in other news, I'm going to switch back to my AirPods for better audio quality and less of the sounds, but it also means we're going to lose any of the cat purrs. Eventually, I'll finally spend money on... Baby Blue wants to escape! Eventually, I'll finally spend money on a decent audio system. So my voice sounds good, and my and the surrounding sounds of kitty cats
cats being very kitty catto. And I want to know, Hope was a stray. Don't you love it when the cat distribution system works out? Okay, baby blue. Excuse me, baby blue. He's not quite down with the this thing yet. I don't know why, but he gets down with towel. Excuse me, baby blue. He's so smart. He knows I'm trying to leave and he wants out. But no, baby blue, I can't have you giving chlamydia to my cats. Sorry, baby blue. No, baby blue. Weeks because of his chlamydia. Um, yeah. I don't know if he's gonna set foot back on the colony anytime soon, if ever. Benny, there's 4 full containers, and you're like, I'm gonna go for the. He mistreats me. My life is so hard. Benny, Benny, wish, wish, son. All right, folks, let's BS a little bit. So yeah, as I said earlier, I've been very proud of my city the past few days, showing up against the oligarchy that this country is rapidly becoming. I'm also a dumb full of shit, and I forgot to bring my friggin' tripod indoors. Lock are to be seen. Also, weed stuff is to be seen. Let's like move that off camera and pretend like locks. Yep. You caught me, Delbert. You caught me. It's only 3 o'clock. It's not that time yet. Um, Now, how can I friggin' jury rig and tripod of sorts? What? Ah, my dude. All right, let's see how this works out. It feels like it's one of those things that could go great or could go terribly or could go kind of six of one, half a dozen of the other. We'll see. But what has happened at the moment is that um my vice is currently serving as the tripod. It's a very stable surface, I'll say that much. Um Anyways, with that being the case, hold on folks. Hey, wish wish. Fortunately for me, sometimes life is awesome. Oh no, Delbert, that's not a lift container. Oh, sorry, you might enjoy this. This is a bit that's the Lift Innovations grinder, which I don't really use anymore because I don't really smoke flower anymore. Hello, Nemo. How are you doing, sir? Or madam, or non-binary. But yeah, this is the Lift Innovations grinder, which instead of having the standard teeth, has this like propeller blade situation, which actually like cuts your cuts your buds instead of like mushes them. Kind of a cool setup. But yeah, like if you see it thins and kind of cuts. Yeah. So yeah, the Lift Innovations grinder, manufactured in the 51st state of the union. Um, but yeah, it's kind of cool. It's got it's got these like chambers where you like put your buds, and then I tend to think that this is just a quarter inch like bit drive almost. But yeah. Oh, that sucks. I mean, you know what's crazy? I would have thought that California. I mean, let me give you, Delbert. Let me give you an exact size comparison. Here it is next to a Master 575. So it's not huge. Yeah, there's some really good grinders. To be honest with you all, the price on this one was a little ridiculous, especially for a guy who doesn't really smoke flower anymore. But you know what? I mean, when you get a quality grinder, it's a grinder for life. So I can like and I've gotten my money's worth out of it. I'd say, and I will continue to get my money's worth because it's just it doesn't break. You can't break that thing. Oh yeah, and I'm never get yeah dab container. Yeah, that's quite the difference. No, I'd say. You know what kind of sucks, Nemo Nada, is that I have no coffee. Wow, my inner New Yorker came out for a second. I got no coffee. I've got no coffee supplies at all in my house. Not even like instant coffee. Well, instant coffee sucks in my opinion, but I don't even have like a little drip filter situation. I really need to get. I, I had a Like, I'm not a huge coffee drinker, I'm more of an energy drinker when it comes to, like, my caffeine fixations. Here, since I'm not picking, we'll switch to me, and I'm currently drinking the finest of black flavored, beverages. Mmm, refreshing. Takes me to Baja California or Taco Bell, one of the 2. Um, well, most people have some caffeinated substance. I have cats, they wake me up very early. Yeah, exactly, exactly. You kn I mean, yeah, and I mean, if you think aluminum's bad, wait till you get to like the plastic grinders and you're straight up grinding microplastics and smoking microplastics. That's the f- that is the OGest of OG Kush. Yeah, Nemo. There's actually 3 orange cats in this apartment at the moment. This is my boy. This is Fred. He's lived with me since 2021. He was a COVID kitty. He's a he's the babiest of baby boys. He is so majestic. Smoking out of brass pipes. Oh wow, that no, that's classy. What do you mean you're not smoking out of a friggin' aluminum soda can, dude? That's because that's a it's a chillum. Yeah, Fred isn't the head butter, but he does love to wake me up in the morning by just going absolutely ape shit. He's a very good boy. All right, let's pick some locks and make it actually have the lock picking meower situation go. Yeah. Oh, you. So yeah. Oh, Zoe the cat. You're gonna. It's not the same, Delbert, and you know it. It's not the same. Oh, you know what? I don't know about that yin yet. We'll see. Well, remains to be seen. I know that they're coming out with like a different Baja Blast, like a a a a I don't know, Sinaloa Blast or something like that. I don't. Yeah, but all right, but yeah, Zoe the cat. On the subject of excuse me, on the subject of not smoking and asthma. So as I've mentioned before, and will mention once again, uh, yeah, I I one of my jobs is I do catering for uh, congregate living facilities where people are in need of long-term acute care, and they basically live in these house type situations pretty much indefinitely. Uh, uh, because they're not they don't need to be in full-time hospital care, but they don't really function well enough to live on their own, and they can't afford to have like a live-in nurse because very few people can afford a live-in nurse uh these days at all, especially on American health insurance. Because yeah, um, but yeah, there's one guy at one of the homes I feed. Um, Weighs about 300 pounds, a little bit shorter than me, and I'm 5'7", so not a tall guy, big guy, but he smokes, and he has a trach tube, so he can't even breathe out his. He's like still smoking with the trach tube. I personally like the puff go, but yeah, that's some serious dedication to killing yourself if you're like. Also, big thanks to Lady Locks for the Chuck Vice. She sent it to me. Awesome. Perfect. We've got two cats doing cat stuff in the background, and I'm picking this Abus 55, which is much, 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 much harder than it should be because it's just a freaking Abus 55. But this one is a special asshole of an Abus 55. It, yeah, I mean, these days, I'm pretty much wax exclusively. So I don't mind, and I mean, I don't have asthma, so I can dab all day, every day, no problem. Sorry, Zoe the cat. I didn't mean that. Sounded like I was being kind of haughty, and I did not mean like that. Um, but um, but yeah, me personally, I prefer wax, and I just enjoy the water pipe dabbing situation. Personally, although obviously when I travel, the Benjamin button is like the best thing. uh, since sliced bread when you're on the road. Um, Especially when you go to states where it's not necessarily legal, or like it's medical only and you don't have a medical card. Like, yeah, Benjamin Button. Oh, that's what those things are called? Oh, you know what? I don't know. I don't know because I only cook in medical facilities because I am a 2 times college dropout, and I'd be picking this lock, except I didn't wanna pick with the gem. Where's the See, David, this is what happens when you don't organize your life, is that you can't find anything when you're looking for it. Well, I mean, there's a joke from the show from the old, TV show. I mean, I guess it's old now because 'cause it's been canceled for several years. But yeah, you could, you could, take a CPAP machine and turn it into a sleep bong. That is creepy as hell, dude. Nah, nah, don't do that. Don't Yeah, I think what I'm getting at basically is that when you need to have a medical device implanted into you so you can breathe, uh, I think that's a sign, like, whether you believe in God or not, and I've mentioned that I don't really, but yeah, I think when you get a medical device implanted in you to help you breathe, I think that's a sign from Vishnu or something that you should stop smoking. But what do I know? I mean, as I mentioned, I'm a 2 times college dropout, so I'm certainly not a doctor. Yeah, I think that's more than just your body. I think that's so many things telling you to stop. Or sorry, but I'm not gonna lie. In other news, I you know, in late 2023, I lost my vape and have quit all nicotine forms since then. And I'm not gonna lie. Uh I still get cravings, of course I do, but I kind of miss it from time to time. Like, I want to be healthy, but like, yeah, I miss it sometimes. I miss it a lot. I know I shouldn't, but this is the n I'm literally just, like, talking about the nature of addiction right now. Like, I stopped, but I want it. I was never a huge menthol fan, to be honest with you, but yeah, the flavor ban is tough. I suppose that's kind of the bright side to things is that I lost my vape right when the pretty much right after the flavor ban kicked in. So it was like, oh, I really I really like kind of the two birds with one stone aspect of like, excuse me, of vaping like bakery flavors because I have like I don't have a sweet tooth. I have numerous sweet teeth. Um, and like if you let me, I will become my 600-pound life very quickly. Just gorging myself on freaking ice cream and donuts and milkshakes and chocolate and just if it basically if it's junk food, if it's especially if it's sweet or candy or bakery, oh, I'm eating that shit up. And yeah, like I said, if you let me, I have an active lifestyle, so it's probably not gonna happen. But like, hey Elijah, yeah, like I love the idea of being able to have those flavors without the like, you know, the health risk as it were. But I mean, you know, there's still a health risk. It's just but yeah, now that I don't smoke or vape and that I'm try like that, as I get older my metabolism slows down and all parts of your body slow down. Not that I'm particularly old, but like, aging is a natural process that is happening to all of us because, unless you're Matthew McConaughey and time is a flat circle, the bold arrow of time only goes one direction. And I ain't getting younger anytime soon. Although it'd be nice. I'm bullshitting so much. Uh, also, Elijah, we're going to go because you're a big fan of Baby Blue. So we're going to check it in on him too because you were asleep when we were hanging out with him earlier. Probably it's very early in the morning where you are, if I had to guess. All right. You know what? We're gonna reset. And I'm going to do my best to actually concentrate and pick this lock, and then we're gonna go check in on beep beep. Oh yeah, like I said earlier, um, got the lab results back on Baby Blue's respiratory PCR test. He has um well, thanks for dropping by, Nemo. I appreciate it extremely a lot. Happy birthday to your daughter and happy Father's Day to you. Your daughter really picked it to get frickin' a birthday on Father's Day. It's like, what am I, chopped liver? Yeah, it's my birthday. Yeah, but it's also Father's Day. But my birthday. But 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 I get one day of the year for God's sakes, and you get. I know it's your birthday. Every day is your birthday. You are the number one thing in my life. Well, look, I'm actually in a decent false set finally. What's amazing what happens when you pay attention, watch me lose this entire false set and fuck up. Oh, Nemo, you're another one of the upside down peeps. Were you an Anzac Nemo? Were you an Anzac bro this entire time and I didn't know it and I feel stupid now? Speaking of which, I lost the full set that I said I was going to lose. All right. Also, why am I not? All right. Okay. Have a great day, Nemo. Happy birthday to your daughter. I retract my previous Happy Father's Day, although I will say Happy Seppo Father's Day, I guess. Um, just comb pick it, David. No. Ben has entered the frame. Ah! Yay, look, I can still pick a lock, sort of, kind of. I swear to you, I don't know what Avis put in this 5550, but this is the hardest 5550 I've ever seen. Or 55, honestly, not just 5550, obviously, because like I mean, 55. I don't. I know a lot of people when they're starting out find the 5540 to be very tough. I didn't personally, but this mother is something else, man. All right, let's go check in on Baby Blue. Also, side note, ADD moment, but I really kind of hate that at least like amongst the Zoomers and alphas of this world, the word goon or gooner has become synonymous with masturbation because Ben and Fred, I've always called the Goon Squad because they're just a bunch of goons in the traditional. They're wild men. They're troublemakers. They're roughhousers. That's how I think of the word goon. And this is the goon squad. Goon squad. Although they're very chill right now. They're not, you know. And I've got a real bone to pick with you Zoomers and alphas who are like, you know what? We're gonna take the word goon, a well-defined and well-worn word, and we're gonna make it synonymous with jacking off. Come on. And like you didn't have enough ways to say jacking off, jerking it, masturbation, beating it, stroking it, uh, giving her an old hug, uh, uh, that's just a couple beating off. Uh, look at this baby blue, choking the chicken, doing a little self oil change, if you will. Um, baby blue. Hey, Silvana, look at baby blue. That's a happy kitty. Here, let me like I did last time, let me remove my AirPods. I do apologize. The audio quality is going to go down and there's going to be a slight buzzing, but you will be able to hear the noises and vocalizations of baby blue. I really need to get like some sort of shotgun mic.
But yeah, he's still a little wheezy, but look, his eyes are looking so much better. The conjunctivitis is going away. And now we know what the wheezing is all about. Um, his uh, his um, his respiratory PCR test came back positive for mycoplasma, I believe it's called, and get that taken care of, especially the pregnancy. And when the pregnancy's done, please fix Cat. Um, but yeah, but speaking of cats and intercourse, Baby Blue tested positive for mycoplasma and feline chlamydia. So he's got an STD. If that's the case, I would definitely recommend taking the cat to a vet. I would not have known that Baby Blue had chlamydia if not for taking him to a vet. But also in the meantime, make sure the cat is drinking water. Lots and lots of water. Very important. So yeah, my advice would be make sure the cat is first off is eating and drinking. Because that's a great way to lose. That's a good question, Elijah. He's been walking up and down 42nd Street. Or sorry, we're in Los Angeles, not New York City. So he's been going up and down Figueroa, just giving it up for free. Excuse me. But yeah, make sure the cat is fed. I would say get the best you can afford, basically. You don't need to get luxury cat food, but yeah. So, but the side effect of the chlamydia is that he's going to be in this quarantine room where we're chilling for the next 3 weeks instead of 10 days. But yeah, food wise, put the food out for the cat. And another thing is, if the cat's not eating enough, I cannot recommend strongly enough the squeezable food treat tubes, because that's like crack cocaine to a cat. Like even a really sick cat will eat those squeezable food tubes, and I know they're not a lot. If this means you need to give like 5 a day to your cat, if that means the cat will eat, do that. Whatever the cat will eat, do that. And that's a good question, Elijah. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe they have it and it's just not, they're just carriers. They didn't get infected or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's why he's staying in quarantine for now, is because he shall not be infecting my kitty cattos. But yeah, he's going to be on the antibiotics for the next 3 weeks. He's going to have this doxycycline, 0.8 milliliters once a day. He gets a 1/4 inch of terramycin in each eye twice a day, and he gets 1 drop of, I can never pronounce this one, and then I can't read it through the phone, dexamethasone sodium phosphate ophthalmic solution USP. He gets 1 drop in each eye of these twice a day. So he's doing all 3 of these dudes for the next 3 weeks. Yeah, Baby Blue, look how clear your eyes are getting. They're turning green. You might have to become baby green. Baby Blue. Well, that's a good tip, Silvana, because I tend to think Baby Blue is certainly not the only one of the cats at the colony who have some form of conjunctivitis. I mean, I would tend to think that Marble Cat and Big V also exhibit symptoms of conjunctivitis, and I could definitely treat them, at least somewhat. But yeah, Baby Blue, for his part, is doing a remarkably good job adjusting to not being a street kitty. Look at that beautiful blue eye face. Look at this beautiful baby blue. But yeah, and he's already doing a bit better. Yes, he's still very wheezy, but he's you know he's shaping up real nicely. He's getting used to being indoors. He's so smart. He knows that on the other side of this door there's more freedom, but you can't come outside because you're gonna infect my cats. Especially Louisa with her, she already has stomatitis. I don't think her immune system can handle you, baby blue, quite yet. Oh yeah, baby. But yeah, to not get too much ADHD, Hania Khan, please, get something quality, get what you can afford, and I mean more than anything, get him to the get the cat to the vet. Like people online can help you, and I mean you can always check like Reddit cat forums or Facebook cat forums or whatever social network is popping off in your area. Oh, he's already fixed. He's got his ear tip. But yeah. Yeah, more important than anything is try to get an appointment with a vet, especially if the cat is weak and pregnant. Yeah, get an appointment with the vet because I can say make sure the cat is eating, make sure the cat uh, gets flea treatments, yeah, and all that. But I can't run tests, and like my knowledge, I have more knowledge of cats than the average Joe Schmo, but I'm not a veterinarian. So yeah, if you're worried about your cat being sick, especially if the cat is pregnant, vet now. Vet yesterday. Like I didn't like I said, I've been taking care of Baby Blue since 2022. I know him very well. He's a very good kitty, but that being said, I would not have known he had chlamydia or even conjunctivitis if I didn't take him into a doc. You know, he went to the vet. My viewers were so kind, especially Silvana. Thank you so much. But all my viewers, have helped me greatly with the cost of the vet, and that's important because it does get expensive. But yeah, sometimes you just need to vet now. Dun. And every time he hits this with his tail, in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Baby blue. We got some purr action, baby blue. We got some sniffle. Yeah, baby blue. Such a good boy. Isn't he gorgeous? Those eyes would look right through anybody. No wonder he got chlamydia. He showed those eyes to the lady cats and they were like, "Oh, baby blue, you're the one for us." Isn't that right, baby blue lady killer you? Baby blue. Honk, honk, honk. Okay, Baby Blue, if it's okay with you, I am going to go back to Le. Hey, that's not bad, Sylvana. It's cheaper than I paid for it at. What did the vet charge me? Let me go grab the bill from the vet. Excuse me, Baby Blue. I know you want to escape. He's so smart. Baby Blue. Thank you. Go, yeah, food, food, Baby Blue. He's like, why won't you let me play? Cause you have chlamydia. That's why.
All right. Hopefully the audio is now improved, although you will not be able to hear the sweet sounds of kitty cats doing kitty catto stuff. But there's no more in the background. And that wasn't me trying to imitate Baby Blue. That's the sound of that my phone makes when it's trying to live stream without the friggin' without me using my AirPods. Because for some reason, I really think it might just be time for me to get a new phone, especially considering I use this phone for so many things. Okay, that's not the receipt I was looking for because that's for Emily. Ah, here we go. What did they charge me for it? $59.41. I'd save some money on Amazon now, wouldn't I? Yeah, this is what Baby Blue cost me in case anybody was curious. Thank you everyone who helped out. You guys rock. Because this one cost me an additional 380 in addition to what I spent on Baby Blue. Yeesh. Or wait, no. Jesus Christ, there are so many friggin' like receipts, people. Okay, hold on. That's okay, that's Baby Blue, the receipt. This is Emily, right? Yes, okay. I guess I don't have my receipt for Louisa, but whatever. Expensive ash kitties. You love them, but God, they're not always cheap. You love them. Yeah, you're a cheap kitty. You've been very inexpensive overall. Ugh. Oh, Louisa? Oh, Savannah, I was concerned that she might have had a cancer, a tumor of some sort, and that the tumor itself might be cancerous, but it turned out to just be a fatty deposit um, underneath her, like a subcutaneous, an under skin fatty deposit like situation thing. So yeah, it was a big nothing burger. Um, Her stomatitis is doing okay, relatively speaking. She only has 4 teeth left, but you know what? 4 teeth is better than 0 teeth. So, and yeah, and Emily's trip to the vet was just because she kept pissing and shitting on the floor, and I'm like, there's got to be something wrong with her. And we did blood work and urine analysis and the whole 9 yards, which is why that visit was also expensive. And it just came back to find out, no, she's just a really anxious cat. So she's on Prozac now, which has got to be like the bougiest thing in the world. I want to know if people in like not super Western countries like the United States, Western Europe, like England, France, stuff like in the Middle East, in Asia, in Africa, in South America, do y'all put your cats on and your pets on antidepressants? Is that a thing, or is that just a thing up here? where we're like, you know what? We need to give our cats the same drugs. Well, whatever. But yeah, it's crazy work to me that both myself and my cat were both on antidepressants. Prozac Nation is a real thing. I'm not on Prozac though. I'm on Zoloft because that's a more goaded antidepressant SSRI allegedly. In other news for you lock nerds, this is an Abus Lotto lock of some sort. I have no idea what model number it is, but it's got the mini 888 Abus keyway, which is kind of funky. For you non-lock nerds, this particular lock is made by a brand called Abus or Abus. Yeah, absolutely, Savannah. They absolutely help with depression. But yeah, this lock is made by a brand named Abus. Um, but in a strange um bit of copyright protection, they this keyway. Oh, but you. A second. Non è così che pensi. Okay. Hey guys, remember when I say this is max professional level YouTubing? Like you look at me and you're like, you know what? Eat your heart out, penguins. Eat your heart out. I show speed. Eat your heart out, professional live streamers. David's here, mother lovers. Who's getting in your face? I'm in your face. Here comes the sun. Do 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 do. Yeah. So as I was saying, with more light this time. Focus. The keyway itself is designed to spell the word Abus. So you see the top is A, then B, and over here that little is a U, and then this is supposed to be the S. You can kind of see the word Abus in it. Abus. Anyways, this is the mini 888 keyway. That's what it's called, the 888 keyway. There's a full size one which actually takes full size keys. I don't have any of those, but I'd love to have one. They don't make picking any harder. In fact, in many ways, they make picking easier because it looks cool and it's got a lot of warding and the key looks pretty funky, but it's actually a really like open keyway in reality. It's 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 actually uh, and I know this lock is gonna say master lock, but or no. We're good. Are we? Yeah. Like the standard Abus keyway, which is a more Yale shape, is a much tougher to navigate keyway. Not that it's tough necessarily, because I don't think it is especially tough, but to you know, definitely if we're comparing these two, no question which one is tighter or more restrictive. It's the one on the right. Anyway, let me put down this second son. Yeah, it does. It's so yeah. So these are some this is like just some random lotto lock. I don't even know what model number it is because it's I just bought them on eBay as like Avis Lotto. But yeah, this I have the key for it, but I left the key upstairs. But it's a brass body, brass shackle with like a plastic or nylon like bumper situation. It's key retaining, which is kind of cool. So when this thing pops open, it locks in the pick position, which I kind of think is cool. Um, and yeah, it's like many Abus locks. It's a decently fun pick. Nothing otherworldly. I mean, if you want an otherworldly Abus, you got to pick that stupid 55. Yeah, I really like Abus locks to pick as a whole. They have great counter rotation and feedback. I what in the hold on, folks. Sorry, there's huh? Yeah, no kitties. I don't know either. That was some big time BS. I don't know what that was. Oh, speaking of big time BS, y'all got to hear this. Oh God, my apartment this morning was just a comedy straight out of Central Casting. Um, it's a comedy I like to call the United States circa 2025. So, as I mentioned earlier, and as I'll say again, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face, the past week. Um, I have been so proud of my city for the way it stood up to intimidation from ICE and the federal government and the felon of the United States of America, POTUS. Um, you know, I am so proud of my city for the way it's showed up and showed out, and I'm proud of my state as a whole too. Um, but yeah, I'm very proud of Los Angeles for how well it's represented itself. Yes, it was. It's it is crazy to think that the Marines came here for reasons. Um, but yeah, I'm very proud of my city. But this morning was the flip side to that, where it's just like I swear to you, this is not LA is not a real place. Hollywood is not a real place. Um, because this morning, I'm making my frickin' beef bourguignon for the houses. So I'm cooking up a storm. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Crazy people are rioting up at the wrong time in the wrong place. They're doing it all up the wrong thing. But anyway, this morning, as I'm cooking my beef bourguignon, I I shit you not, I hear screaming to high heaven coming from outside my apartment, and I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" I thought all the protests were yesterday. Um, so I go outside, and my next door neighbor is also stepping outside, and he's like, "Oh, it's apartment." I don't want to give up too much information about my apartment number and whatever, but he's like, "Oh, it's apartment," which is the apartment directly across the courtyard from me. Um, So if I'm in apartment A, they're in apartment B, assuming the odd letters are on my side and the even letters are on their side. Um, you know, just the loudest freaking screaming going on, and it's a domestic dispute. Um, and for the record, the people across the courtyard from me have been kind of a consistent negative presence since they moved in. They haven't been here that long. Not that I've been here super long, but like I've been here a couple years. They've only been here like a month or two. Um, they're just smoking fat blunts on the courtyard. Not that like here's the thing. I'm not anti smoking or whatever, but there are so many better places to smoke than in the freaking courtyard between the houses. Like, please don't. Um, like, but yeah, but I mean, like the weed smoke I can deal with because I mean, look, I'm a weed smoker myself. I don't go and smoke directly outside of my apartment, but I'm not saying it's never going to happen. And whatever, to each their own. Live your life as long as you're not hurting me. I love you, um, or I hate you, somewhere in between. Um, but I do it with equal love or contempt. Um, I don't know what the heck I'm getting at right now. But yeah, like I mean, these two star-crossed lovers across the courtyard from me are screaming at the top of their lungs so loudly that the whole and here's the thing: the people who live in my apartment building as a whole keep to themselves. We don't have um like apartment like parties or barbecue night or whatever. Generally speaking, the people here, we keep to ourselves. you know but everyone's coming outside. What's going on? What's going on? What's that? Where is it coming from? Who's it? What's it? Eventually the freaking LAPD shows up to break this up. And because the guy who is actually one of the tenants of the apartment is screaming, "Get out! Get the fuck out!" And this whole argument is taking place. Dude is throwing his, I guess now ex-lover's crap out his door. Um um and eventually someone calls the cops. Not me, but someone calls the cops. Cops show up. They go to the ground floor. No one's there. They go to the second floor because my apartment is townhouse style units. So every unit is 2 stories. So if you're on the ground floor like me, you have the ground floor and the second floor, and if you're a third floor apartment, you have third and fourth floor. But yeah, anyways, eventually both the star-crossed lovers get cuffed and interrogated by the LAPD, and I don't know what happens with the dude, but the lady gets taken away in the back of a police interceptor. And the whole time that this whole soap opera is taking place, there is a crazy 5150 type, like either a homeless, like either drug user or or someone with a severe mental illness or both. It's very common for excuse me, for the homeless to have, both. She's just sitting uh on the grass in front of my building, just talking to something or somebody. I have no friggin' clue. But I do know is that she was a white dude who at some point says, "No, I'm a real word that begins with N and rhymes with yeah." And I was like, "Yo, Hollywood is not." Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like, "Yo, Hollywood is not a real place." Like, And I was gonna go up to the lady and be like, "Yo, the cops are hot right now. They are dragging a woman off to jail, and you are here trespassing and engaging in all sorts of buffoonery. If I were you, I would, I don't know, shut the fuck up and wait for them to leave before resuming your 5150 activities." Um, but no sooner do I get up to say, "Hey, would you mind like being quiet for your own like health right now?" Um, she's because he sees me and is like, "Oh, you have beautiful hair." Which can I just say, ha, I don't have beautiful hair. My okay, the Giants acquired Rafael Devers. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Enjoy losing to the Dodgers. But yeah, I figured since we're engaging in conversation and she's actually talking to a real person now instead of I don't know, Johnny the Invisible Sunshade or whatever. Um, I was like, "Hey, I'm like, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. How are you doing?" "Oh, it's very hot." I'm like, welcome to Los Angeles. Um, would you like a Gatorade or a Mountain Dew or something?" And I swapped, I gave her a free Gatorade and I swapped the Gatorade for 5 minutes of peace and quiet. Because I'm like, "Hey, can you just do me one small favor? Can you like turn the screaming down like like one level or two? Because this building really needs a moment." Between the cops showing up with these crazy wackaloons who are across the hall from me, which is really annoying. Um, yeah. And the greatest thing was this entire time this whole thing was taking place, the building manager is mm, doing something else, whatever the fuck something else is, which is great. I love property management companies sometimes. I swear to you, when you need them, they're never there. But when you want them to just leave you alone, they're like, "Guess what? We're gonna schedule like I don't know, um, friggin' fire alarm test today." And you're just like, "No, dude. How about you not schedule a fire alarm test today?" Yeah, or turn off the water, or like some BS, like, "Oh, we need to swap out the filters for the AC units." Like, really, dude? Could you pick a more inopportune time? Property management does suck, Delbert. And I think I'll tell you one thing. I think regardless of whatever side of the aisle we're on politically, I think we can all agree that the people who own all these buildings fucking sucks, and they need to get Luigi Mangione. Like, like make private equity people scared again. Unfortunately, I've never had to do that, Delbert. But yeah, I mean, Property management companies are sometimes like on almost HOA levels of suck, which really begs the question: why are things related to renting and living and owning property uh just so annoying? Like between property management companies, HOAs, uh, just a bunch of freaking slumlords. I mean, like I used to rent a condo and that had an HOA. That sucked, dude. Like, cut the grass like this. Don't put up this in the window. I was like, shut up. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America. Isn't this America? But yeah, I mean, and I'm probably not quite as elite as you, Delbert, but I can, when you gotta pinch pennies, I am quite good at that shit. But like, it sucks that we even have to. Like I often comment that these modern American lawmakers, you know, they they really like yeah, they really like the totalitarianism and police state uh of Soviet Russia, but they don't do the universal healthcare or universal right to housing that Soviet Russia had. You're taking the wrong bits of communism, dude, and then you're Delbert. That's the People's Republic of California to you, sir. Or sorry, the Democratic People's Republic of California. But yeah, these modern American lawmakers seem to be taking the surveillance, the secret police, the lack of individual freedoms, taking all that from the Soviet Union, but they're skipping the universal health care and the right to housing. Like, I'm sorry, but like in a city with so many homeless people like LA, we really need some Khrushchevkas to be built, and they're not being built. You know, I mean, and right now because we don't own anything, everything is. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think government should be a servant of its people, not exist to annoy them. I mean, that's the whole concept of Medicare for all. But apparently we can't have that. But we should have had universal healthcare years ago. You know, it really bugs me when the government that's supposed to represent me it really annoys me to be like, "Oh, we're not going to give you healthcare. We're not going to guarantee you a roof over your head. But what we are going to do is, I don't know, remove a woman's right to control her own body, for example." Oh, and speaking of things that are annoying, yeah, speaking of things that are annoying, I don't know what's up with the state of California DMV, but they need to chill out and lay off me. They sent me a they sent me a snail mail message recently saying your car, you are driving around uninsured. I'm like, bullshit. No, I'm not. And this is the second time in a year that this has happened where they're like, we don't think you have insurance. I'm like, yes, I do. And stop get like can you get off my case? Like, can you have your clerical error with somebody else? And the second time you guys are giving me shit about not having about not having car insurance. When I do, not only do I have car insurance, I have full coverage. Well, no, I mean, unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to call the DMV and be like, "Yo, you guys need to not you picked the wrong one, literally. Like I have insurance, and I'll probably I'm assuming there's a way that I can just go online and clear it up via the DMV website. But the point is that I really shouldn't have to do this crap, in my opinion. Like, you know, like I said, I mean, some lady in a Mercedes hit me last year, and we exchanged insurance, and all that, and she was at fault, blah 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 blah, and and all that. And then a couple months later, the DMV is like, we don't have insurance on file for you. I'm like, bullshit. We literally just went through this. Like, what are you talking about? Then I, and then they're like, so then I'm like, okay, let me fill out the form you want me to fill out because apparently y'all can't fill out your own goddamn forms. And then, you know, fill it out, send it off, mail back to them. In the time that happens, they send me another mail that says notice of impending license suspension because you haven't filled out this form. And I literally call them. I'm like, dude, bullshit. I sent it in the mail yesterday. Would you like get off my case? They leave me alone for like I don't know, not one, for like 6 months. And now they're like back at it saying, we can't find your insurance. Well, progressive, my guys. Do your friggin' jobs. You know, and Delbert, as to the charging you for not having healthcare, yeah, that was fucked. Like, I understand like charging you for not having healthcare if you have a government paid for option that is available to all where there's like literally no excuse for you not to have healthcare. But like if you're gonna do this private marketplace idea and then when people who are like, yeah, if you know, if there's a Medicare for all option where there is a free government healthcare option, then I can kind of see, okay, like, look, we're literally giving this to you for free, so you don't, you know, cost us more money down the line in, medical bills or whatever. But then I can understand, you know, having a charge for not having healthcare. But that that whole thing, the people that it affected the most were the people that made too much money to be on Medicare and weren't old enough to be on Medicaid, but couldn't really, afford the private healthcare plans, which is a shitty place to be. And then you get penalized by your own government for basically being too rich to afford government assistance, but too poor to afford your own private healthcare. That it's so fucked. Silvana, what's MV? I'm kind of curious. I'm trying to figure that one out. Nemo, you're back. Okay, we're go. Oh, exactly, Elijah. And I mean, like that's the thing. I'm not claiming, I'm not here to claim that having the government provide healthcare is a universal panacea for everything. But it exactly. It's better than nothing. It provides this basic or this baseline for health care that everyone can have. Yeah, but you know what you know what you guys are missing in Australia? Guns. Your pew pew rights are shite compared to us. Agreed, Nemo. But but we don't have money for that here in America. We're the richest nation in the world. Our military budget is bigger than the next three nations combined, but we got no money for education or healthcare. I mean, look, the founding fathers, they are pretty shit, but I'll say this much. You have considerably fewer school shootings than America does. I mean, it really sucks that the most metric system we teach our kids in school is friggin' 9 millimeter. Like, we need to do better than that. It, but at the same time, sometimes gun laws just don't make sense. Like, one thing that I've always thought was kind of weird about, and California is more restrictive than the rest of the country, so I can't really give you all that as much shit as like a Texan would, but I can still give you some shit. But like, I've never like, um in many states, you can legally own a 50 cal, a 50 BMG rifle, and that's the I believe it's the largest cartridge you can own without having to apply for like special rules. But 50 cal is completely illegal. Gotcha, Silvana. Thank you. But yeah, but we don't buy weed until we're slightly older. They're learning about 9 millimeter when they're like 5, 6 years old. See you, Uvalde. But like, yeah, I don't understand why there's a 50 cal ban in like, not saying that I could afford or would buy a 50 cal if it were legal, but like, I just don't see the point of that. Like, I'm sorry, but getting back to like the school shootings and or mass casualty events, how many of them took place when somebody just decided to break out his friggin' M2 and start spraying? I'm gonna hazard a guess, none. Like, we got like, I'm all for common sense gun control, but it's gotta be common sense. Anyway, speaking of guns and other stuff, and I said this earlier when there weren't that many people, but I have a major bone to pick with this recent military parade that happened in Washington. And it's not that it happened at all, because I mean that's a political issue that I don't want to get into. What I want to discuss amongst y'all is, why in the blue fuck did whoever was planning that parade think, you know what? Our soldiers are gonna wear regular camo. Why? You're in a parade. Wear your dress uniforms. Get the drip right. Did you see the North Koreans wearing camo at their parades? No, North Korea dripped out. China dripped out. Russia dripped out. Any pin pot dictator who wants to have his parade has his soldiers dripped out. And then in the American parade, we got friggin' yep, exactly, Nemo. But yeah, why all the real totalitarian countries are like, yeah, our military, our we're gonna look good for our parade, and then here comes stupid face ass United States, and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have our guys in camo. They're gonna look like they're literally doing PT, like they're on, like they're just like they just came out of barracks. Why? Break out the friggin' dress uniforms, people. Show the world that. Well, I heard that they kind of had like a loyalty test. I don't know if it's true, and I can't confirm, but I heard rumors that that they they wanted to make sure that the soldiers who were there were wanting to be there, as it were, and not just doing it because they were ordered. I cannot confirm nor deny that that's what happened, but wouldn't surprise me. But then again, it's the military. It's supposed to be nonpartisan, but it's kind of a. I mean, and that's the kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm getting at, Elijah. Is that like like I like guns a lot, but we need to have you know better tracking of the guns that are out there. We need to have you know we need to make sure that people like me, on if I'm honest, don't get access to guns. I've struggled with depression and anxiety my entire life. I am prone occasionally. It's not my best trait, but we're all human. For all the good work I do with cats, I have to have some negative qualities. I'm prone, and I'll be the first to admit, one of my most negative qualities is that I'm prone to road rage. Um, I drive a lot, and I have very strong opinions on, you know, on good and bad driving. And I can get really frustrated when people drive like shit, which can be really frustrating in a city like LA where everyone drives like shit. So, I think, Jesus, if I had a firearm in my car, you know, how many times could could my road rage possibly have boiled over into something really ugly? You know, and that's why I say I like guns a lot. I love going to shooting ranges, but I personally don't think that a person like myself should be eligible to own a gun. And if he should be eligible, then there needs to be restrictions. You know, to just to prevent someone from having a bad day flying off the thing. Well, going back to my initial thing, I don't understand why California banned the 50 cal round completely from civilians, and so I think that should be legalized at least somewhat. And fine, if you want to make sure that that people aren't like trying to conceal carry a 50 cal somehow, I don't know. Make it so that like okay, you can own and fire 50 cal in the state of California. You have to keep the weapon locked in a locker at the gun club of your that you're a member of at all times when you're not using it. It cannot go it cannot leave the sporting club or whatever. I'm just spitballing here. Hell, you can even do that for stuff bigger than 50 cal. You want to own a frickin' Bofors 40 millimeter anti-aircraft gun? Fine, you can own it. Yeah, it has to stay on the range, not in your farm. Sorry for the farmers who want to use their farm as a gun range, not in your backyard. But like you can have whatever you want within reason. Like, and I appreciate that, true builder, but I just, like I said, I understand my limits, but I also like understand is that we all have bad days. We all sometimes see red, as it were. And like I said, I think some of the times that I've been road raging where I'm literally piloting this 2-ton missile, um, and I think like Jesus, if I had access to a firearm, I would have shot that guy's window out or something. Thank fuck I didn't have one. Even though I could have one. Like there's nothing stopping me other than myself from owning a gun. Like I'm yes, but I've never actually gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use my car as a weapon. Other than using my car as a weapon of mass seduction, because my car is the panty dropper mobile. Lies. Why am I? Ah, yay. The Maybuster has been picked. For you lock nerds, I am quite fond of this one. It's some random master lock. I think it's the model number 534. Oopa! Len, thank you for asking. Um, I believe you and also Nemo have waited far long enough. Let's go check in on baby Blue for you guys. But yeah, but really quickly, I'm quite fond of this little creation. I did send it to Lady Locks, and we discussed that before. And she picked it. It's a little funky, but it's a master lock. I believe it's called the 534. It's got the date code printing. It says SEH of an American lock. It's actually the exact same shape and size as an American lock 5260. So very weird. And into this, I have swapped in the core from an Abus 41. Hence Maybuster. It's half Abus. It's half Master. It's a Maybuster. And it's all shite. All right. It's very similar to a 532 Lockeye. That's why I say I believe it's called the 534. Just quick lock tip. I'm sorry, Nemo and True Builder. Just to this was in the earlier 2000s. Yes, sir. So here's actually so yeah, it's very similar to a 532. It's a little bit oopsie, a little bit shorter, which is kind of funky since they're both 5-pin locks and this is rekeyable. So like I don't know how they managed to make it actually shorter than the 532, but they did, and it is. The difference is though is that the 534, once again, I believe it's called the 534. I cannot confirm because I did not buy it new. I never have seen a package. The reason I think it's called the 534, and let's put this 532 back, um, ah, is that in the early 2000s, excuse me. All right. In the early 2000s, Master briefly had a line of locks that looked like American locks. Um, and I happen to own all of them. So they made the 536, which is this beautiful chrome steel jobber, um, which is the exact same size actually as an American 5100. Um, And like I said, these are all have American lock date codes printed on them. Very funky. All right, so the 536 is the small one with the 50. That's the size of the 5100. Sorry, we need to make a quick uh, trip to second floor. Keys. Excuse me. Then up here we've got the 535, which if you notice is the exact same size as the um American 5200, which I've got one of those right here. And so I'm assuming as they get bigger, the number gets smaller. So if the 5100 is the 536 and the 5200 is the 535, that's why I call the 5260 sized one the 534 because I assume it just seems to make sense, right? Anyways, also R.I.P. Parky. Long live Parky. Long live Louisa. And she will be long living considering the growth was just a fatty deposit. She's not sick. Doing good. All right. Well, yeah. Um, it's just a funky lock. And so all those American locks, they're basically the same. I'm in the same camp, honestly, Nemo, as Lady Locks. I find the American lock core to be one of the most annoying things to pick in the world. I hate that shit. Can I pick it? Absolutely. But do I enjoy it? Not really. Uh, As when it comes to green belt locks, I'll take a Master Lotto or Pro Series or an Abus 72 any day of the week and twice on Sunday. God, I hate the American lock core sometimes. It's brutal. Okay, it's oh my god. Um, But yeah, um, I will say this as a credit to the American Lot Corps. Um, it does teach you a lot about tension control because if you if you over tension, it just click city because every single serration is clicking. It's click 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 clicking. You have no idea what the fuck is going on. So it really teaches you to moderate that tension control so you can differentiate between a serrated click and a set click. And whatnot. And the other thing is, and this is actually something that the 1100 and 1200 and 50, all the American locks, it's something that they share with, this isn't a Pro Series, but what they share with the Master Lock Pro Series is that the actuator itself is super heavy. So, like, they require actually very light tension to the actual pick because it's technically a dead core, like a 410 or a 570 Master Lock. But to actually throw the shackle, that actual shackle or the actual actuator spring is super strong. So you'll have it picked and you think, oh, but it's just not moving because it doesn't do that like progressive fall that like a normal padlock would do. It's like, no, I'm still closed. And then you just have to torque it just a little bit more. And it's like, oh, it's moving. Oh, it's open. Click. Anywho, Rona, hello. All right, Rona's here, Nemo's here, Lockeyes here, uh, True Builder's here. Baby Blue, Baby Blue. He's adjusting remarkably well to life in indoors. He's going to be with me for the next 3 weeks or so, at least. Because his tests came back and he is positive for uh, feline mycoplasma and feline uh, chlamydia. So baby Blue has chlamydia. That's what's causing him to wheeze so much. Um, uh, yeah, I saw that comment that you left on my thing, and I'm like, you are so right, Glenn. So I set that up. We got his towels. They're also here to kind of like try and quarantine him a bit so he doesn't infect my cats with the chlamydias. I don't want that if possible. But yeah, hold on, and let me like I did the last times. I'm sorry, the audio quality is about to be very bad, and you're about to hear the sound of my phone making noises. But I'm gonna remove my AirPods so you guys can hear the baby blue noises. It's mostly wheezing in that baby blue way, but there's also some chirps and some purrs and whatnot.
Baby Blue. But yeah, look how clear his eyes are looking right now. So as far as the colony goes, I would assume that there's at least a couple cats that already have it. Um, but yeah, he's gonna be in this little tiny room for the next 3 weeks, just because I can't have him getting my cats sick. But yeah, he seems to be adjusting very well to life off the streets, which is great because he likes it. He's extremely smart, and truth be told, Nemo, until I got the diagnosis, I didn't know that either, but it kind of makes sense. I mean, cats fuck just like we do. In fact, they do it quite a lot more than we do. And yeah, and I mean, there's feline immunodeficiency virus, so a lot of you know I think you know it's not like beep beep blue. At least. But yeah, he's a happy kitty right now, I think. But he's also so smart. He's figured out this door leads to freedom, and so every time I'm about to leave, he'll go right by the entrance and be like, I'm gonna free myself." And he's like, "No, baby blue, you're not." It's like, as smart as you are, guess what you don't have? Object permanence. I win. Object permanence, motherfucker. Meep. But yeah, this is a very good baby blue. He's doing very well. So here's his routine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come at me, boy. Come at me, boy. Come at me. Do this. Can you? Oh, sorry, I can't twiddle my thumbs at the same time. Yeah, can you twiddle your thumbs? You don't even have thumbs. You've got 2 dew claws, but that doesn't really count. So anyways, here's Baby Blue's routine for the next 3 weeks. Once a day, he gets 0.8 milliliters of doxycycline. And then twice a day, I know for those of you who have already heard this whole spiel, you're going to be like, God damn it, David, you're a broken record. This is for the people who weren't here earlier. And then twice a day, he gets terramycin, 1/4-inch little worm thing in each eye of, God damn it, dexamethasone sodium phosphate ophthalmic solution USB. He gets 1 drop of this in each eye twice a day. So yeah, these 2 are twice a day. These are once a day. He's already gotten his morning thing, and I'm just waiting for his nighttime thing. He's eaten most of his food already. Koalas are cool, dude. Also, fun fact, they're not bears. I wonder if koalas have. Do you think they have opposable thumbs, Elijah, because they like climb trees and stuff, and the opposable thumbs help them climb more better? Yeah, and Baby Blue is far from the first cat to be in this bathroom in quarantine. Every cat that I've TNR'd has gone through this bathroom. Marble Cat, Charlie the cat, the 2 Sunny and Sully the kittens. Baby Blue was here before when he was injured. Yeah. Who else was here? Yeah, let's see. Baby Blue was. She probably will need, or. Yeah. Speaking of see, look, he's like, I know, you rock, Glenn. Thank you so much, True Builder. He knows I'm trying to leave, and he's like, this is the way out. He's. Oh, let me pull that up one more time. Louisa. This is her beg routine where she's like, I haven't eaten. Yes, you have, liar. She knows that little meow kind of melts my heart. All right. That was Emily's bill. Where did I put friggin' Louisa's bill? Or is it in this carrier still? No. Yes, exactly. It was. The grand total was $469.93. And here's the breakdown of that. The visit itself was $69. Nice. The PCR panel was $271. The terramycin ointment was $59.41. Although thank you to Silvana um, for pointing out that I can get it for significantly cheaper on Amazon. No prescription needed. All right, the dexamethasone sodium solution was $47.60, and the doxycycline was $22.92. For baby blue Romano. And yes, I've already redacted all the parts that I feel like need to be redacted. Yeah, he weighed 4.18 kilogram. Can I please calculate it into freedom units, please? I think it's about 9 pounds. But yeah, that's going on. Hopefully, I don't need any more medication, and hopefully that like what. Yeah, there's several in varying degrees of. Haha! All right, back on with the AirPods.
Yeah. So Silvana, the other cat, there's plenty of other cats that are like varying degrees of stick, but there's definitely Tatiana that's really good. Elijah, you got me on that one. Um, you know, well, I mean, not only that, but I mean, straight up, the office visit itself, nice. My latest fridge raid was very. My latest fridge raid was very profitable for shitty magnesium locks. Also, speaking of which, people, pickers in the United States, if you want these two Ace 40 millimeter laminated locks, just pay shipping and you can have them if you want. Uh, so yeah, if there's any pickers in the states who want two Ace 40 millimeter laminated padlocks, hit me up and pay shipping. Sorry for you outside the states. It's just not worth it to pay a bazillion dollars for these Ace padlocks just to get them sent to you. It's just not worth it. I will say, Silvana, if you use these Ace padlocks, specifically the ones that are Ace branded, they're actually pretty good. They're not the be all and end all of padlocks, but for what they cost, they these are much better, in my opinion, than the equivalent master lock. She's watching you. She is watching your every move. Oh, believe me, Nemo, I know. And I mean, I've got tons of locks to give away for beginners, but it's like I'm not shipping them outside the states because like, at what point does a free thing become no longer free? And like like I said, like I figure okay, like let's say somebody in, New York or whatever or Florida or who cares. Or let's say Delbert up in Northern California. And it's you're not wrong, Nemo, with the exception of the cool, good Master Lock. Like that's the thing. Master Lock makes a lot of good locks. They're excuse me, they're either discontinued or they're so rare that you just can't find them without searching them out. And the average, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry just wouldn't search them out. Like this is a legitimately good lock, but well, number one, it's discontinued, and number two, um, when it was in production, it probably was much harder to find than like a number four. or not number four. Number four is actually kind of cool because it's brass, but then a number three or a number five. But I kind of feel bad for my Anzac bros and sisters and what have you, because I've seen, from Pocket Woman streams how, like, you've gone from having your hardware stores pretty much be dominated by local companies to being taken over by the big master lock, which is it's the opposite of awesome, and I mean, I've also discussed how, in every country, uh, just Assa Abloy is taking over everything. Side note, folks, I'm at 15% battery, so when we get below 10, we might call it a day. Um, but we'll go a little bit further. We'll pick another lock or two. Stop fucking clicking buttons, David. You can't blame your phone for your own stupidity and forgetting the tripod in the car. Pendejo. Don't be a pendejo. But, 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 yeah. And I mean, and here's the other thing, Nemo. Factually speaking, master locks for most applications are actually fit for purpose. Now, now, that does that mean that they're good locks? No, they're not. But but that being said, in a world where 98% of break-ins do not involve picking and instead involve brute force, masters actually, you know, especially now that they've finally gotten rid of their spring-loaded locking mechanism and mostly moved to ball bearings for their products, master lock actually is fit for most low security purposes because I mean, look, this number five. It's a shit lock to pick, and personally, I would not trust it. But that's because I'm a lock nerd. But for most people, it's got a boron shackle that doesn't scream it because it just says hardened. It's got a nice tough all steel construction. It's got a double ball locking mechanism that can't be shimmed or wrapped open. Like, don't get me wrong. If I want to get into this lock, well, if I want to get into this lock, it's not going to take me. Hold on. I wanted to make that more dramatic where I just did like a McNally and just been like, if I wanted to pick this lock, it wouldn't take me very long. But number one, I'm not picking to break into your shit. And number two, like I said, only 2% of break ins involve what I just did. So, yes, in that specific low security application, I would argue that these are fit for purpose. And that's why Master doesn't do anything about their shit pick resistance. Now, should they? Absolutely. Um, can they? Absolutely. Masterlock has everything in like the, every everything Masterlock needs to make a really good lock. It already has. Like I said, their bodies are already physically tough. Um, and they do have good cores. Like we all know that the Master Lotto core is good. The Master Pro Series core is good. The problem is the Lotto core is not for security devices unless you modify it to be like that. Um, and the Pro Series core, while very good, and you can find them in Lowe's sometimes, they're they're just exponentially more expensive than than this dude. So the average Joe Schmo consumer is gonna buy this. Like I've literally been in the comedy aisle of Home Depot or Lowe's and like have seen people shopping for locks and like pointed them like you know do I have my 70/40 on this table? No, I don't have my 70/40, but I do like I've been like, here, get this is a 68/40. This is a very good master lock and it's available at your local Lowe's. Like almost every Lowe's I've ever been to keeps these in stock. These are good locks, and they keep the steel version, the 70/40 in stock too. And I thought I had my 70/40 on this table somewhere. Guess not, but I mean, okay, this is a model 991. It's the same size as the 70/40, except it's chrome and therefore cooler. Um, but yeah, this is a good lock. You are using. All right. What, the Pro Series Nemo or the 991 specifically? Because me as your local crazy person who actually collects rare master locks, I've got this two pair, the 991 and the 992, um, which are some of the rarest modern day master locks you'll ever find. They're extremely sexy. They're the exact same shape and size as the model 70/40 and model 70/50, respectively. But these guys have a feature that the Pro Series doesn't have, and it's one of my favorite features that a lock can have, or that a padlock can have specifically. Give me one hot second, folks, to find the keys. The keys. This is not the right keys, right? Also, for you baseball lovers, crazy that the Giants picked up Rafael Devers. Uh, the Dodgers are still gonna beat their ass, and when push comes to shove, don't you worry about that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, True Builder. I am your guy when it comes for padlock recommendations, especially like I'm tend to be somewhat pragmatic, unlike many other lock sporters. Or they're just like, buy this. How much does it cost? $800. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can recommend all the $800 locks in the world if you want to spend that much money, but most people don't. Story of my life, David Romano, forever losing shit. All right, come on, David. Where did I put that duo? Speaking of, that'll work. That'll work. That's where I put the keys. My stupid ass. Phone battery is at 12%. We're still going. Okay, the party continues. Yeah, exactly. Uh, yeah, this is the thing that these locks have that the Pro Series lacks. Come on, David. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Wrong key. Look at this. Sprung shackle.
sprung shackle makes noises. Yeah. Sprung shackles. And this is the 996. And that's the wrong key for this 996. But yeah, the Pro Series. Yeah, the one thing I really dislike about the Pro Series, other than the fact that it's hard enough to find, is that the shackles aren't sprung. And I don't know for you pickers, but me personally, I really like when you pick the lock open and it makes boom noises. Thank you, Silvana, you're awesome. All right, Truebeller, to answer your question about dimple locks. Dimple locks are actually just standard pin tumbler locks turned sideways. That's all they are in their basic construction. Let's say, here we have, actually, here's a dimple lock I made earlier. Boom. So this is actually a Federal lock, Model 500. It's just a padlock that can take any key and knob cylinder, and the cylinder I put in specifically is the Yardeni 6. It's an Israeli 6-pin lock core. But if you notice, so yeah, all a dimple lock is instead of putting the bitting cuts on the vertical surface, it puts them on the horizontal surface. But if you look, it's the same thing. Yeah, I really like the click. We love a shackle pop, but yeah, a dimple lock just puts the key on the bitting cuts on the flat surface. But otherwise, operationally speaking, there's still pins in a dimple lock, just like you would find in a standard pin tumbler lock. It just means that the key goes in sideways. And yeah, now there are dimple locks that don't behave like this, and that are based off sliders or wafers or whatever. We're not going to discuss those right now. I will bring up on the subject of dimple locks that one of the most common designs for dimple locks, also out of Israel, weirdly enough, is the multi-lock design, like this one, which it's the same thing. It's still a pin tumbler lock, and you have to look closely at the key. It uses what's called concentric pins or pin-in-pin, where yeah, exactly, Nemo. The pop is part about it. Like that. Why do you think I put these hard locks and make them even harder to pick by putting them in a padlock? It's because picking a multi-lock classic is fun, but picking a multi-lock classic where you get this to let you know you did a good job is even better. And yes, I put the Israeli core inside an American lock 3600. This lock is Israeli American, just like me. All right, I'm having fun with life right now. Free Palestine. Anyways, but yeah, but if you notice this, like if you notice this key cut pin, this is 1 on a multi-lock. The inner pin, that dimple inside there's the outer cut, which is for the outer pin, and then inside the dimple pin the inner pin is actually higher than the outer pin. Or if you have this one, you'll notice they're at the same height, actually. So yeah, the inner pin can be either taller, lower, or the same height as the outer pin. But so yeah, that's you know, a slight modification to the standard dimple lock, but it's still a pin tumbler lock. It just has pins inside of pins. You know, and there's other mechanisms. You know, there's wafer locks, which you often see in like car doors, for example. There's slider, sidebar based locks. There's lever locks. There's a whole world, you know, but by and large in the United States, you're gonna see pin tumblers, and you're gonna see the occasional wafer lock. Like your car door is usually a wafer lock. Hondas use a split wafer, which is kind of cool, but generally speaking, your car door is going to be a wafer lock. That shitty like piece of junk like lock that they put on the plastic case. Yeah, so certain dimple locks, like this is from a gold D9, have key cuts on multiple surfaces, and that's because they use a high pin count design. Now the D9 is kind of the miniature version of that because it has 9 pins. So it has 3 pins on the top. One of them is a max lift, which is why the middle one's a max lift, which is why there's only 2 cuts. And then there's 3 pins on one side and 3 pins on the other side for a grand total of 9. Where did I put the freaking D9, people? It was in front of me. I was picking with it because I can't remember how to pick a gold. Like I've been picking so many love locks and robbing so many people of their ability to be in love that I can no longer pick high security, tough to pick locks anymore. I can only pick shit. Oh, there it is. So anyway, yeah. So here's my D9, and let's see if I can. So if you can see there you go. You can see there's pins from the top, the left, and the right, and there's 3 on each axis. So that is a thing. That's definitely a thing. But here's the thing. This is just a pin tumbler lock. Like, all right, like let me give an exemplar really quickly. This is just a random. This is a core from a master lock. It's a little sticky because I accidentally like soft bricked it because I'm an idiot. But you know, so that's a core from a master lock. This is a Schlage key and knob cylinder core, so it's the same thing, just slightly bigger. This one has no pins in it, which is why it spins around like that. You know, this is a mortise cylinder. This one was got some fire damage. Oopsies. But they're all pin tumbler locks. The D9, despite looking crazy and the crazy key, when you get down to, and 1 second, let me find a screwdriver, and this is going to be really annoying because Goal is a Japanese manufacturer, and the screws, even though they look like Phillips, are actually JIS, which is why they all look stripped out, because my Phillips head screwdriver is stripping them, slowly but surely. People who pick a lot of Japanese locks actually like it's in their best interest. It's often said to buy some JIS screwdrivers, but I just don't tighten them down so much. So, yeah, pin tumbler is going to be by far the most common, especially in the United States. You're going to encounter wafer locks in cars, and in like, you know, a lot of low security applications will use wafer locks, like if you work in an office and they've got like that plastic surround over the thermostat to stop you or your coworkers from changing the temperature. The lock that holds that plastic box closed is usually a wafer lock, or if like you have like a file cabinet lock, generally speaking, that's also a wafer lock. Those are very common as well. But all right, I'm down to my last screw because I wanted to show you. This is the like the housing for this lock, but yeah, exactly. Filing cabinets locks is like the home of the shitty wafer lock. But yeah, if you remove the actual lock core from the housing, this is what it is. All it is is 3 pin tumbler locks in one lock. You know, this is the D9's key and knob cylinder, as it were. But like from a concept, there's no operational difference between this and this. It's just instead of having 5 pins all coming from the same sides, it's got 9 coming from 3, with 3 coming from 3 different axes. And like this thing has a big brother. The D9 is the 9-pin one. There's also the V18, which has, I believe, standard 18 pins and up to 21. There's the gold GP. There's, you know, Kaba makes tons. They're called HPC, or high pin count locks, because they have a lot of pins in them. But when push comes to shove, they're just pin tumblers. Another type of, actually, I almost forgot about disc detainers. Holy hell, and I have a cutaway so I can show you all how they work. Yeah, we don't really, here in the United States, we have these like shitty Corbin wafer locks, which you don't see in public usage a lot, but you do see power companies and utilities using them to lock up like utility boxes. All right, anyways, another thing you'll see common, especially like on like kryptonite bike locks, for example, use this a lot. But this is what's called a disc detainer lock. The keys look like this usually. Like I said, you see them a lot on like in the States. Probably the most common thing you're going to see them on is bike locks. But if you go to the Scandinavian companies, they're everywhere. The countries, they're everywhere. They were invented. The design itself was invented by the company Abloy in Finland. But anyways, this, instead of having pins, has discs. Hence, disc detainer or rotating disc cylinder. And in a way, this actually kind of works. So, when you insert the key, actually, very little, if anything, happens. Because, hold on one second. If the discs are out of alignment, it can be annoying to put the key in. But basically what happens is, when the key is in, as you start to turn, so each angled cut corresponds to one disc. And as you insert the key and turn, focus, the discs all right, focus. Search your feelings. You know this is to be the one that you should focus on. Ugh. Yeah, all right, that's as close as I'm going to get, I guess. But as it aligns, these deep cuts are what's called the true gate. The shallower cuts are called false gates. They're actually... So these deep cuts are the true gates. These false cuts are anti-picking features called... Or these shallow cuts are called false gates. They're designed to make it seem like the lock is picked correctly, but it's not. Anyways, what happens is as you turn it, you align all the true gates. There's a bunch of true gates aligning. And then when all the true gates align correctly, this rod, which is called the sidebar, can drop in to the groove, which is made by the true gate. So there's the sidebar dropping in. And then once the sidebar drops in, then the actuator can turn and the lock can open. And this is, like I said, this design was invented by Abloy in Finland. It's extremely common in Finland. In the United States, the most common applications you're going to see are going to be like kryptonite bike locks. If anybody buys an Abus Plus lock, that works too, but less so. And another application is Sargent and Greenleaf made what's called the environmental padlock, which is also a disc detainer, although instead of having 9 or 11 discs or however many the Avis Plus core has, it has either 3 or 5, but they're spaced much further apart. And the reason for that, if the name environmental didn't give it away, is that these locks, by their very nature, because they don't have tiny little springs and pins and stuff, they're very good in the elements. That's why the fins depend on them, because they will work in temperatures where the pin tumbler lock may not work. But yeah, that's why the Sargent and Greenleaf made the environmental. It's for locking up things like railroad switches, for example, because they're you can leave them out in the elements, and assuming you can fit the key in there, which I mean you can, because all you need to do is grab like a little probe and get the gunk out, and as long as the key is going in there, you can turn the core. Overall, True Builder, these are indeed better than pin tumblers. The disadvantages are, number one, there's just not as many of them in the States. It's just like that's the thing. If you buy Rona, it's not a trainer lock necessarily, Silvana. It's a cutaway, so you can see the operation. But yeah, the downsides to disc detainers are going to be parts support. If for example, if you lose the key to your master lock padlock or your Schlager quickset door lock, you can go pretty much anywhere and they'll make you a key, or they'll dupe you a key. Getting a key to the Avis Plus core, is going to be a lot more difficult to get a dupe made. And it's even more difficult where the lock nerds here, Elijah and Nemo, are discussing abloy. Especially the newer abloys like the Protect 2, where there's an interactive element in it. If you don't have the correct key, or somebody who will make you the correct key, you're up shit creek without a paddle. And I mean, and that's the other thing, is that there are abloy dealers in the United States. You can get an abloy, doorknob and deadbolt set up for your house. It is expensive. It is not cheap, and frankly, unless you really need that level of protections, for disc detainers, unlikely. And if they do, they probably don't sell the. They probably don't, because remember, instead of cutting heights, what the key is cutting angles. There are different angles to cut. So even if they have the blank for you, which is an if, they probably don't have the machine to cut the keys, because it's not the same machine as a key cutter. So yeah, product support is going to be a big problem in the United States, especially after sale support. And the other thing is going to be cost. For lock sport usage, to buy, and I know the Aussies over there are discussing abloy padlocks. So here's the only abloy padlock that I have. It's a little beat up, but it's a 341 Enforcer with a classic core. And for the record, this is the original disc detainer. What it looked like when it was made in Finland is the abloy classic. And it's a D-shaped keyway instead of a, abloy makes some of the best locks in the world. They're extremely smooth in their operation. And like I said, this has no springs. This lock has no springs in it whatsoever. There's no spring for the shackle. There's no spring for the actuator. There's no spring in the disc detainer system. So it'll never jam up. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing. Here's the thing. like, and the last time we did a lockpicking Meower episode, I demonstrated with my front door. Yeah, my front door is a shitty quickset lock. It would probably take me or any picker half worth his salt, mere seconds to get in. Especially considering because my front door lock is master keyed, so there's multiple shield lines to pick to. But that's really irrelevant because if some turd burglar wants to get into my apartment, they're not going to use this. They're going to break that. Anyways, folks, I'm at 4% battery, so we're going to suddenly wrap it up. I have also been yapping for a good amount of time, so I I went live at 2 p.m. Well, 2:05. I was a bit late, and I've been in my house since like 2:30. Sully is very nervous. Of all the socialized cats, he is the least socialized cat. See what I'm saying? Still needs a forever home, and but okay, guys. Look, another thing is, if you have a cat, be prepared for messes of Q-tips on your floor. This is my fault. I left the Q-tip box in a way that they could access it. And now I'm just like, well, you made this mess. Exactly. Locks only stop honest people. If people want to get in, they're gonna get in, by God. But all right, let's see. But like, yeah, this is a nice little like. Here's a wafer-based padlock. It's a nice little vintage sleigh maker. You know, it's super easy to open, but it is cool. See what else? I discussed disc detainers. I discussed wafer locks briefly. I discussed pin tumblers and dimples. We can maybe go briefly into slider sidebar or finger pin designs, but that's a little bit more arcane, and that's really only going to be found. I mean, yeah. Yeah, wafer locks are really fidget toys. They're not difficult to pick, with some exceptions. There are some very tough to pick wafer locks. The American magnetic locks. I don't have any magnetic locks, Zoe the cat. Although I should really get some. The guy who hosts my local lock sport meetup in Burbank, Datagram, he loves magnetic locks. Like, whenever he does his presentation on magnetic locks once a year, he gets super excited because he gets to nerd out about like the Miwa EC and the Ava MCS. These are like, you know, these are like, you know, super cool stuff. You know, and he also always brings up the Miracle Magnetic, which I think is super cool because the Miracle Magnetic is it's an interesting one. Speaking of which, yeah, most wafer locks are doo-doo caca, but the Illinois Duo is actually not doo-doo caca at all. Yeah, it's all good, Nemo. I'm gonna call the stream pretty soon because I've been going for a really long time. My voice is starting to go. I'm very sexy. Well, Silvana, let me tell you what I got by my door. I got a baseball bat. Yeah, Datagram is great. You know, he does Lockwiki. Lockwiki is his site. So like, yeah, he's very much a known quant. But yeah, he's super into magnetic locks, and like he'll bring like the magnetic film, so like you can decode like the Miwa EC and all that. So yeah, he's a super big nerd for magnetic locks, or like locks with magnetic elements. But yeah, but especially like, yeah. But yeah, I think True Builder, I think we're gonna wrap up our discussion of lock types on that one, because like I said, the other ones, like right now, me and Zoe the cat are having our little discourse on magnetic locks. And I will say, if you feel like nerding out, the Ava Yeah, I will do that. The Ava MCS. It's the company is called Ava EVVA, and the lock design specifically is called the MCS, the Magnetic Code System. Is one of the coolest, most fascinating lock designs in the world, and it uses magnetic rotors that engage with a sidebar. It's so cool. Ava makes some of the coolest locks in the world, aside from the MCS, the 3KS, or the 3-Kurven system. Um, First off, the 3KS is one of the coolest looking keys in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, it's a dual sidebar slider lock. Really cool system. Yeah. Like I said, Ava make they make a whole bunch of others. Ava makes some of the coolest locks in the world. They're Swiss. So you rarely see their locks in the United States, but you do sometimes see them in some applications in the States, but they're rare. But God, they make some cool designs. Like, just so cool. Oh, actually, sorry. You know what? Sorry, we've got time for one more type of lock. I'll be, you know what? No, we're back up to 8%. I got enough time to disconnect for now. Let's just really quickly discuss lever locks, because these are what you're going to encounter mostly in the UK. And I just so happen to have a lever lock handy. Sleep with one eye open. Yeah, Japanese locks in general are some of the hardest locks to pick. Anyways, this is, speaking of hardest locks to pick in the world, oh, by the way, this is me at 3 years old with my grandpa, may rest in peace. So yeah, this is the NATO Mercy lock. It's a 14 lever lock that was designed for safes, for use on British NATO bases. As you can see, NATO code over here, and does this one have the MOD code on it or no? I don't know. Anyways, so instead of pins or wafers or discs, this one has levers, which are, these are the springs for the levers, and these right here are the top levers, and these are the bottom levers. And basically, when you, whoops daisy, so there's 7 levers on the top, 7 on the bottom. When you insert the key, excuse me, nothing happens. But when you, okay, you know what? Hold on. Hold it. Wait now. Yeah, I got a chance to get in on a Mercy Lock group buy, and I'm like, you know what? This one's a bucket lister for me. I think the Mercy Lock is one of the coolest locks in the world. Sorry. I need 2 hands. Anyways, we got the bolt over here. So when you insert the key to a lever lock, nothing happens. But when you turn, it lifts all the levers to the correct height. And down here it's doing... So there's the key. Oopsie. And it interacts with the levers, lifts them to the correct height, and then throws the bolt. And if we're talking about hard locks to pick, the NATO Mercy is one of the hardest. I believe the first on-camera pick of these happened less than 5 years ago. And these have been around for quite some time. So yeah, these are one of the hardest locks to pick ever made. But more to the point, and what made the NATO Mercy system very interesting is that the key itself was very, 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 very tightly controlled. The key is serialized to the lock. There's only one key for one lock, as far as I know, and the key itself was locked inside a dial safe lock that was protected by a very high security dial safe lock called a Chubb manifold. And if any part of the system was compromised, from forgetting the combination to the safe lock, from losing the key, from something bad happening to the Mercy lock, the whole thing was thrown out. So these have extreme, like if we're talking, like this goes beyond a simple do not duplicate. This is, if anything in the system is compromised, the whole system is thrown out and we get a new one. It's almost like this was for keeping nuclear secrets or something like that. But yeah, it's a very cool lock design. It's a very cool key, as Silvana said. Although if you want funky keys, the Cromer protector is kind of second to none, or other protector lock designs. Second to none when it comes to like bizarro keys. But yeah, just the security level of this lock is very interesting. And yeah, like I said, they were made for a long time. This one is from 1991. It's a year older than I am, as a 92 baby. Yeah, and here's what it looks like when the bolt throws from the front. Ah! Yeah, not super fascinating, but yeah, you'll almost never see lever locks in the United States. You might see like a couple of like one or two. Like this has 14 levers in it. You might see a couple of low security, like 1 lever, 2 lever, maybe 3 lever locks in, like, if you have an old house from like the 1800s or the early 1900s or whatever, and you have like bookshelves with doors or whatever, you might have a simple like 1 or 2 lever lock. But in the United States, you're almost never see something like this. But the design is cool. They're very common in other parts of the world, namely, like I said, the United Kingdom. And this particular design is just so cool, and I can show you guys kind of how it works and what, all that. But yeah, we can, some other time perhaps we can get into secondary locking mechanisms like sliders and sidebars and finger pins, and we can talk about Medico, which is also one of my personal favorites because I grew up in a house that had a Medico lock on the doors. So like that system I've always had a personal affinity for Medico. And if we're talking about Medico, then we also need to bring up the Corbin M. Hart interlocking pin system. There's basically this is kind of the opposite of Dunning-Kruger, where the more you know, the more knowledge there is to not know. So like, you first start off in the world of locks and you're like, oh, pin tumblers, master lock, haha, open, boom. And then you're like, oh, there's a whole world of other stuff. There's, like I said, there's dimples and wafers and levers, and then you get into secondary locking mechanisms. You get into sliders, sidebars, finger pins, having wafers and pin tumblers. Yes, that too, Zoe the cat. I always forget. Yale used to make a ton of lever-based padlocks and door locks, for that matter. But they at some point in the United States, the lever lock design just went bye-bye. I'm not fully sure why that is. Because they can be very secure locks, as demonstrated. But at some point, I tend to think that it's cheaper to make a pin tumbler lock. And also, the pin tumbler lock is a uniquely American invention because it was invented by Linus Yale in the United States. So I think there might be something patriotic to say about that. And as well, like I said, I would hazard a guess that it's cheaper to make pin tumbler locks than lever locks. And especially when it comes to door locks, lever locks often have to be like mortised into the door, like with like a pocket and a fitting, whereas American pin tumbler locks is just cut circular hole with hole saw, insert cylinder and screw down. Done. Bob's your uncle. So yeah, I tend to think, the classic American things, bottom line and ease of installation and maintenance by barely trained monkeys, kind of determined where we went with our lock design. But in Europe, where they actually have standards, there's a whole world waiting to be discovered. And like that world exists in America, it's just you have to look a lot harder. Anyways, I'm rambling. I have completely lost my train of thought. Goobledy gobbledy google gaga. Baby Blue says hello. All my other kitties say hello. Exactly. It's the bottom line. Pin tumblers are cheaper. Anyways, if you have cats, uproot clean, recommended. Street shout out. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Thanks for hanging out with me, and hopefully, next week's live will either not happen because I have a shift at Universal, or it'll be a kitty cat live, so at the colony, which will be a continually baby blueless colony. It's so weird for me to go to the colony and not see baby blue, but it's okay. He's in my apartment. It's even better. So, with that, I wish you a great rest of the week. Have a great day. Stay safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And I'll leave you with a long-winded baby blue.